Hello, my friend. How are you feeling tonight? Maybe it's been a long day, full of thoughts, noise, and tiny things that never seem to stop spinning in your head. But right now, you don't have to think about any of that. You're safe here. You're calm here. You're with the deep, sleepy scientist. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. Feel your body getting lighter, your mind quieter. The world outside can wait. Because tonight, we're going somewhere far beyond it. Tonight, we're going to travel to the very edge of everything you know, to the place where time itself begins to fade. A place so distant, even light can't reach it anymore. It's not a dream. It's the future, the far, silent end of the universe. So, close your eyes. Let your heart beat slow. And as we drift together into the endless night, I'll tell you a story about what happens when the ticking of time finally stops. Time. It's the only thing that never stops moving. And yet, we can't see it, can't touch it, can't hold it in our hands. We only feel its passing, in the ticking of a clock, in the way sunlight shifts across your window, in the way a memory slowly fades. Not all at once, but quietly, like smoke disappearing into the air. But have you ever wondered what time really is? Is it something that flows around us, or something that we create to make sense of the flow? Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine you're standing in an empty room. No sound, no motion, nothing changes. Would time still exist there? Or would it simply stop because there's nothing left to measure it by? You see, time isn't just numbers on a clock or dates on a calendar. It's movement, change, transformation. When a leaf falls, when your heart beats, when a star burns, time is happening. Without change, there is no time. Billions of years ago, before the first star was born, there was no such thing as before or after. The universe itself was a tiny, hot, dense point. Everything that would ever exist was folded into that single, unimaginable spark. Then, in an instant, it expanded. That moment, the Big Bang, wasn't just the birth of space. It was the birth of time. Before that, earlier, didn't exist. There was no yesterday. There was no waiting, no growing, no flowing. Time itself began when the universe took its first breath, and ever since that moment, it hasn't stopped breathing. Each second that passes, each planet that spins, each wave of light that travels through the dark, all of it is time stretching forward, carving its path across existence. But here's the strange part. We don't all feel time the same way. When you're happy, hours disappear like minutes. When you're waiting, minutes stretch like years. A child's summer feels endless, but an adult's year feels like a moment. So, what is real, the clock or your mind? Einstein once said that time is relative. It bends, it stretches, it slows down. To someone moving fast enough, a second might feel like forever. To someone near a black hole, time itself nearly stops. It's as if the universe has a secret rhythm, one that changes depending on where you stand, how fast you move, or how much gravity holds you. Think about that for a second. Your heartbeat right now is moving through a different rhythm of time than the heartbeat of someone on a distant star. And yet, both are part of the same cosmic clock. Strange, isn't it? We build our lives around seconds and minutes. But the universe doesn't use a clock. It moves to a silence so vast, we can only guess its rhythm. Maybe time is not something out there. Maybe it's something that happens inside us, a perception, a slow unfolding of moments our minds turn into stories. Every laugh, every tear, every goodbye. All just tiny chapters written inside the book of time. But like all stories, even this one must have an ending. The physicists say that time began with the Big Bang, and that one day it might end too. Not because the clocks will stop, but because there will be nothing left to change. Imagine the universe far, far in the future, long after the last human thought, the last song, the last sunrise. Galaxies will have drifted apart, stars will have burned out, atoms themselves will begin to fall silent. When nothing moves, nothing vibrates, nothing changes, that's when time itself will lose its meaning. Because time, at its core, is the record of change. And without change, there's nothing left to record. So maybe time isn't killing us. Maybe we are the reason time exists at all. Because as long as something moves, loves, breathes, or dreams, time keeps flowing. Think of your own life, the moments that feel like yesterday, the people who live only in memory, the dreams you once held in your hands. They all exist somewhere, not gone, but folded away in the layers of time, like echoes still whispering across the fabric of the universe. Scientists say that in the equations of physics, time doesn't really flow. It simply is. Past, present, and future are like pages of a book, already written, already existing. We only read one page at a time. When we reach the end, the story doesn't disappear. We just stop turning the pages. And yet, for us, for the tiny beings made of stardust, those pages feel alive. We feel them as heartbeat and breath, as sunrise and sleep. We are time, made conscious. The stars above you tonight, their light has traveled for millions of years just to touch your eyes. When you look up, you're not seeing what is. You're seeing what was. Every star is a memory, a window into a time long gone. And maybe that's what makes the universe so beautiful. It's not just made of matter and energy, it's made of memories. So as you lie here now, listening, breathing, floating, remember this. You are part of time's story, a moment that only exists once, but exists completely. And when you close your eyes tonight, you're not escaping time. You're joining it, drifting in rhythm with the stars, becoming part of the silent flow that began billions of years ago. The clocks may stop, the stars may die, but the story of time, the one written in your atoms, will echo forever through everything that ever was. Because the universe remembers every spark, every breath, every heartbeat. And for now, it remembers you. So rest easy, traveler of time. Let your thoughts slow. Let the seconds fade into stillness. Because in the grand story of the cosmos, this quiet moment, right now, is exactly where you're meant to be. There was a time when the sky was full of light. Everywhere you looked, stars were being born, billions of them, glowing, spinning, breathing life into the darkness. But like everything that lives, stars too must die. Close your eyes. Imagine looking at the night sky far in the future. No cities, no lights, just space stretching forever. Now imagine those tiny specks of silver you see above you, slowly fading, one by one. First the brightest, then the faintest, until the black canvas becomes truly black. That's how the story of the universe continues, not with noise or explosions, but with quiet endings. Because stars don't just vanish, they end beautifully. When a star is born, it begins a battle. A constant war between gravity and light. Gravity tries to crush it inward, pulling all matter toward its center. But the fire at its heart, the nuclear fusion, pushes outward, holding the star up, shining against the weight of its own collapse. For millions, sometimes billions of years, this balance continues. The star burns steadily, a quiet heartbeat in the vast silence of the cosmos. And we, tiny creatures orbiting one of those stars, never really think about what it's costing them. Because every second, a star gives away a little of itself to keep shining. Our own sun is doing it right now. Every sunrise you've ever seen is a slow act of sacrifice. The sun burns its life to give us warmth, light, and time. But one day, even the sun will run out of fuel. When that happens, it will change. The bright golden sphere that painted our mornings will begin to swell, growing larger and larger until it becomes a red giant, a bloated dying heart of flame. It will consume Mercury, Venus, and maybe even Earth, not in anger, not in violence, but in silence, because that's how the universe ends things, quietly. Far away, other stars will be dying too. The massive ones, those bright blue giants, will go out in a flash of brilliance, a supernova so powerful that for a few moments, they'll outshine entire galaxies. And in their death, they will give birth to new things, to the elements that make your body, your breath, your bones. Because when a star dies, it doesn't truly disappear. It becomes a giver, scattering carbon, iron, oxygen, gold, all the ingredients of life across the dark sea of space. Every atom in you was once inside a star. You are made of stardust, quite literally, the ashes of dying suns. So in a way, the death of a star is also a kind of creation. Something ends so something else can begin. The universe recycles itself endlessly. Life built from loss, beauty, born from endings. But endings always come. Billions of years from now, the cycle will slow. Stars will form less often. The great gas clouds, those cosmic nurseries, will run out of material. And as the old stars burn out, new ones will no longer replace them. The sky will start to empty. If you were alive then, standing somewhere under that ancient night, you'd look up and see fewer and fewer stars. At first, you might think you're just imagining it. But slowly, over millions of years, the constellations would fade away. The Milky Way itself would dim, becoming a faint whisper of light across the black. And then, one night, you'd look up and realize the stars are gone. No glow, no flicker, just eternal darkness. Scientists call this stage the degenerate era. It's a poetic name for a quiet death. In this time, the universe will be filled not with light, but with remnants, cold white dwarfs, neutron stars, and black holes. Each one a memory of what once burned brightly. A white dwarf is what's left when a star like our sun dies. It no longer burns, it only glows faintly with the leftover heat of its past. Over billions of years, even that glow will fade until it becomes something called a black dwarf, a dead, frozen star, invisible in the dark. And that's where most stars will end. Cold, silent, forgotten. But not all. Some, far larger and more powerful, will die more dramatically. When those giants collapse, gravity crushes them so completely that not even light can escape. That's how a black hole is born. Black holes are strange. They don't just sit there. They pull everything toward them. Matter, energy, even time itself. Inside them, all the laws of physics begin to blur. Time slows down. Space curves inward. And beyond a point called the event horizon, nothing returns. Imagine standing at the edge of one, watching a star being swallowed, its light stretching, fading, red shifting until it disappears. From your perspective, it would seem frozen, as if time itself had stopped. And maybe, in a way, it has. Inside a black hole, time might not move forward at all. It could be trapped, like a thought that never finishes. A place where the story of a star remains, forever unfinished. Billions of years later, even black holes will begin to fade. Stephen Hawking predicted that they will slowly evaporate, leaking their energy back into the universe until nothing remains. When that happens, the last sources of light, gravity, and warmth will vanish. No more stars, no more galaxies, no more heat. The universe will become dark, not just visually, but physically. No motion, no energy, a silent sea of particles drifting endlessly in nothingness. And yet, in that silence, something beautiful remains. A memory. The atoms that once made the stars will still exist, scattered across infinity. Those atoms once made you. They once laughed, loved, dreamed, wondered. They once looked up at the sky and asked the same question you're hearing now. What happens at the end of time? So maybe the stars never really die. Maybe they just change shape from fire to dust to thought to memory. Because everything that ever was still is. It's just transformed, rearranged, resting in a different form. The light of a star that died 1 billion years ago could still be crossing the universe right now. And tonight, it might touch your eyes before fading forever. That means, in this moment, you are watching something that no longer exists. A ghost of light, a memory, traveling through time. And isn't that beautiful? That we are allowed to witness something ancient, something already gone, and yet still shining. So, when you look at the night sky again, don't see stars. See stories. Each one a heartbeat from the past, each one a reminder that endings can be beautiful. And as you lie there, listening, breathing, sinking deeper into calm, remember, the universe is not ending fast. It's ending gently, slowly, lovingly, like a candle burning itself away to keep you warm. The stars were never just distant lights. They were mirrors showing us that even in dying there is purpose. Even in fading there is beauty. Even in silence there is meaning. And maybe that's what makes the cosmos so peaceful. It doesn't rush. It doesn't fear the dark. It simply becomes. One day, there will be no stars left to see, but the story of their light and the life they created will remain written across the very fabric of time. And that includes you. Because you are not separate from them. You are made of them. When your eyes finally close and the world grows quiet, somewhere in the darkness, a particle of stardust within you remembers where it came from. It remembers the warmth of the star that gave it life and the infinite night it will one day return to. And in that moment, there is no fear, only peace, only stillness, only the slow, eternal rhythm of the universe breathing, in and out, until time itself grows tired and falls asleep. There's a moment in every story when the energy fades, not suddenly, but softly, like a song drifting toward its final note. That's how the universe will age, not with a bang, but with a sigh. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine the stars you saw as a child, the way they shimmered, the way they made the night feel alive. Now imagine them fading, one after another, until the sky becomes nothing but a black ocean, quiet and endless. That's where we're headed. into the slow, graceful aging of everything that ever existed. The universe is not young anymore. It's already 13.8 billion years old, an ancient traveler that's seen the birth of galaxies, the formation of stars, and the rise of life on tiny blue worlds. But like all living things, it is changing. Its heartbeat, expansion, is speeding up. Galaxies are drifting farther apart. Space itself is stretching. And with every passing second, the universe grows colder, thinner, and quieter. Right now, new stars are still being born, small flickers of light in the darkness. But compared to the fiery youth of the cosmos, this is a quiet old age. The great nurseries of gas and dust that once filled the sky are running out of material. The birth of stars is slowing, and one day it will stop. Imagine it. Billions of years from now, the last generation of stars will ignite. They'll shine for a while, maybe 1 trillion years, but no new light will take their place. Each one will live, burn, and die. And then the night will deepen. The galaxies will still drift through space, but they'll be darker now. Silent archipelagos of dead suns and cold rocks. If there were eyes to see it, then they'd see a universe dimmer than a dream. The colors will fade. The warmth will fade. Even light itself will grow tired, stretched thin by the expanding fabric of space. There's a law that rules this process, a quiet law called entropy. It says that everything, no matter how bright or organized, slowly moves toward disorder. You can see it everywhere. A candle burns out. A body grows old. A memory fades. Entropy is the slow unweaving of order, the great evening of everything that once was bright. And the universe, vast as it is no exception. Over trillions of years, entropy will continue its patient work. Stars will die, planets will freeze, and black holes will swallow what's left. Everything that was once warm will cool into darkness. Physicists call this future the Big Freeze. It sounds dramatic, but it won't feel like an explosion. It will feel like sleep, a soft fading, a gradual stillness. Temperature, that invisible measure of motion, will fall closer and closer to absolute zero, minus 273 degrees Celsius. At that point, atoms barely move. Molecules stop dancing. The world, or what's left of it, becomes utterly still. The background radiation that fills space now, the last echo of the Big Bang, will stretch into wavelengths so long they'll no longer carry warmth. The universe will be dark. The universe will be quiet. The universe will be old. Imagine drifting through that time. No light, no sound. Just endless black, filled with the frozen remnants of what used to be. Planets like our Earth will no longer orbit anything. Their suns will have vanished. They'll wander aimlessly through space, silent, cold, forgotten. But maybe, just maybe, on one of those ancient worlds, frozen deep beneath layers of cosmic ice, a trace of something remains, a fossil of life, a whisper of memory. Maybe one last atom of warmth will carry the story of what once was, the laughter of oceans, the hum of cities, the heartbeat of a species that once looked up at the stars and wondered how all of this would end. Even black holes, the most mysterious objects in existence, won't last forever. They seem eternal now, but they too will fade. Through a process called Hawking radiation, they'll slowly leak energy, bit by bit, until even they evaporate into nothing. That will be the final act. When the last black hole releases its final breath, there'll be no more gravity wells, No more stars, no more movement. Time itself will have nothing left to measure. Think about that. A universe with no change, no rise, no fall, no heartbeat, no before, no after. A silence so complete, even time will fall asleep. It's a strange kind of peace, isn't it? The idea that everything, every story, every sound, every life ends not in pain, but in stillness. A perfect equilibrium. Everything finally resting. And yet, there's something beautiful about that stillness. Because in that endless dark, nothing is truly lost. Every particle, every bit of energy will still exist, just colder, quieter, slower. The ashes of stars will drift across eternity. The atoms that once made mountains, oceans, eyes, and dreams will still be there, waiting in the silence. If you could look at the universe then, you wouldn't see light. You'd see memory, a vast sea of forgotten potential. And maybe, just maybe, that's not the end at all. Some scientists believe that the universe might not freeze forever. Perhaps the expansion will reverse. Perhaps one day, gravity will pull everything back together, and the cosmos will collapse into itself back into a single glowing point. That moment would be called the Big Crunch. And in that crushing unity, time might begin again. Another Big Bang, another chance. Like a cosmic heartbeat. Expand. Contract. Breathe in. Breathe out. Maybe time itself is just the pulse of eternity. And even if that never happens, maybe what truly matters isn't the ending, but the story that played between the beginning and the end. Because in this vast and endless universe, you are one of the rare moments when matter became aware of itself. You are the universe not just watching its story, but living it. When you laugh, when you cry, when you dream, you are the cosmos reflecting on its own existence. And that means the story of the universe isn't just written in stars, it's written in you. As the universe grows old, its galaxies will drift apart so far that their light will never reach one another again. Every galaxy will become an island, alone in an infinite sea. Future beings, if any still exist, will look up and see only darkness. They won't know there were ever others. They'll think they are the only ones, the last flicker in an empty cosmos. And yet, they will still be part of the same universe, still part of the same story. Just distant chapters lost to the silence of time. It's strange, isn't it? How the farther apart things move, the more peaceful it becomes. The noise of collisions, the chaos of creation, it all fades into calm. Maybe that's how life works too. Maybe, like the universe, we also grow quieter as we grow older. Not empty, just peaceful. And perhaps that's not something to fear. Perhaps it's something to honor. Because even in silence, the universe is still here, still expanding, still holding the echoes of everything it ever was. Now, take a deep breath. Listen to the sound of your own heartbeat. That tiny rhythm inside you is part of the same energy that once powered stars. You're not separate from the universe. You are the universe, remembering itself for a brief moment. When you sleep tonight, you're doing what the cosmos will one day do. Rest. Quietly. Completely. You're following the same law that guides galaxies and light to slow down, to cool, to let go. And in that letting go, there's peace. Picture it now. A universe so vast and dark that only memory remains. Somewhere in that silence, the last photon of light travels across the Black Sea, carrying the final glow of everything that ever was. It moves slowly, fading, until at last, it too becomes one with the dark. And in that moment, the universe becomes perfectly still, perfectly quiet, not dead, not gone, just resting. The stars have told their stories, the galaxies have danced their final dance. The music of existence fades into a single, endless note. And then, peace. So tonight, as you drift into sleep, remember that you are part of that same peace, the same silence, the same story that began billions of years ago with light and will end someday in the soft darkness of rest. You don't need to rush. You don't need to hold on. Just breathe. Let the seconds dissolve. Let the universe cradle you the way it cradles everything. Because one day, far beyond memory, far beyond time, all things will find their stillness. All things will rest. And tonight, that rest begins with you. So close your eyes and drift. The stars are sleeping, the galaxies are dreaming, and the universe is quietly growing old. The universe is a mystery that loves to keep its ending secret. We look into the darkness and we wonder, will everything freeze forever? Or will the cosmos find a way to begin again? Science offers not one but many endings. Two of the most haunting and beautiful are called the Big Crunch and the Big Rip. Both begin with the same question. What if the universe doesn't just fade away, but moves toward a final act, a climax, something so immense that it rewrites the very definition of the end? Let's drift into that question together. Close your eyes. Let your mind float through space, past the galaxies, past the light, and imagine time bending back on itself. The Big Crunch. Once upon a time, at the beginning of time, the universe expanded with unimaginable force. The Big Bang flung galaxies apart like glowing sparks in the dark. For billions of years, that expansion continued. But what if it doesn't last forever? What if gravity, the same invisible hand that binds everything, slowly begins to pull it all back? Imagine that. Trillions of years from now, after the stars have faded and galaxies have thinned, the universe stops stretching, the great expansion slows, and then, almost imperceptibly, it reverses. Every galaxy, every cloud of dust, every lost photon of light begins to fall inward, like raindrops pulled back toward the ocean. It wouldn't happen fast. It would take trillions upon trillions of years. But slowly, the universe would begin to shrink. The distances between galaxies would close. The cosmic web, that vast lattice of dark matter, would tighten its threads. Galaxies that were once invisible to each other would meet again. Collisions would begin anew. Stars would merge. Black holes would devour everything around them, growing larger, hungrier, unstoppable. As the collapse accelerates, the night sky would grow brighter, not darker, because everything would be closer, compressed into a fiery dance of returning energy. Imagine a sky not filled with stars, but with glowing walls of light. No distance, no silence, just the universe folding into itself like a book closing its final chapter. And then, one day, everything would be close enough that all matter would begin to merge. Galaxies crushed, stars vaporized. Even atoms, the tiny building blocks of everything, would be torn apart. Temperature would rise beyond comprehension. Time would feel shorter and shorter. The universe would become smaller, hotter, faster, until all of space and time collapsed back into a single, incomprehensible point. A singularity. The same kind of point from which it all began. And in that final instant, the end would look eerily like the beginning. A flash, a silence, a seed of infinite potential. From that, some scientists believe a new universe could be born. The Big Crunch might become the next Big Bang. Isn't that a haunting thought? That the universe breathes in and out across eternity. Expansion, contraction, life, death, birth, rebirth. Maybe it's all a cycle. Maybe this has happened countless times before. And maybe it will happen again. A universe that lives, dies, and lives again. Like a heartbeat too vast to comprehend. And if that's true, then perhaps nothing is truly lost. Every collapse is just preparation for another dawn. The Big Rip. But there's another possibility, one far more violent and far more lonely. The Big Rip. While the Big Crunch imagines gravity pulling everything inward, the Big Rip is its mirror, a future where expansion never stops. In fact, it grows faster and faster until the universe literally tears itself apart. Let's imagine that future for a moment. Right now, galaxies are moving away from each other. We can measure it. The farther a galaxy is, the faster it moves. That speed is driven by something mysterious, a force we call dark energy. It makes up nearly 70% of the universe, yet we don't know what it is. We only know what it does. It pushes, it stretches, it accelerates the expansion of space. And if dark energy grows stronger with time, just slightly stronger, then one day it will overpower everything else. First, galaxies will drift too far apart to ever see one another again. Then, gravity will weaken. Stars that orbit their galaxies will begin to slip away. Planets will lose their suns. Moons will lose their planets. Everything that was once connected will begin to unravel. Imagine the universe as a great cosmic fabric slowly coming undone, thread by thread. But it won't stop there. The expansion will keep accelerating. The space between molecules, between atoms, will stretch. At first, imperceptibly, then faster, then violently, until one day, atoms themselves will be ripped apart. Even the fabric of space-time, the stage on which the universe exists, will tear. There will be no galaxies, no stars, no planets, no matter. Not even space or time itself. Everything will dissolve into pure energy, a final flash of disintegration. The end will come not with collapse, but with fragmentation, the ultimate cosmic shattering. That's the Big Rip. It sounds terrifying, but like everything in the cosmos, it will happen slowly, elegantly even. Trillions of years from now, the expansion will be so strong that no two particles can remain bound. It will be the universe's final breath, a long exhale that never returns. And then, silence. No collapse, no rebirth, just an infinite expanding nothing. It's strange, isn't it? How both endings, the crunch and the rip, are reflections of the same truth. Everything that begins must change. One future ends in unity, the other in separation. One brings everything together, the other pulls everything apart. And both, somehow, feel poetic. Because whether the universe collapses into itself or expands beyond itself, it's still following the same eternal rhythm. The rhythm of creation and dissolution. Now imagine yourself standing at the edge of time, watching both possibilities unfold. On one side, the universe collapses like a closing flower, petals of galaxies folding inward until only one light remains. On the other side, everything stretches outward forever, a field of fading embers disappearing into infinity. Both images are beautiful. Both are terrifying. Both are peaceful. And somewhere between them, right now, we exist. The truth is, no one knows how it will end. Not yet. We can measure. We can predict. We can imagine. But the universe still keeps its final secret hidden. Maybe dark energy will fade. Maybe gravity will win. Maybe something entirely new, something we haven't even imagined, will rewrite the laws of physics one last time. And maybe that's the beauty of it. The end of the universe is not an answer. It's a question whispered by time itself. So when you lie down tonight and your thoughts drift into the stars, remember this. You are part of this story, made from the same atoms that once burned in ancient suns, the same particles that will one day drift to the last moments of time. When you breathe, the universe breathes. When you sleep, the universe rests with you. You are a fleeting chapter in an endless cosmic poem, a poem still being written in light and shadow. The big crunch, the big rip, two endings, two lullabies for eternity. Both remind us that everything, even the cosmos itself, knows how to let go. So let go too. Let your thoughts drift outward like galaxies fading into the dark, or inward like stars returning home. There's no need to fear the end of time. It's not destruction, it's peace. The universe has always known how to rest, and tonight it's teaching you to do the same. So close your eyes, breathe with the stars, and let the story of everything fade softly into silence. Imagine this. The stars are gone. The galaxies have dissolved into blackness. The last black hole has exhaled its final whisper of light. And all that remains is silence. No suns, no matter, no sound. Just an infinite calm, the deepest quiet that ever existed. This is not death. This is the end of time itself. The slow fading of time. Time has always felt like an arrow. It moves forward, never backward. We count it in seconds, in days, in lifetimes. But time, at its core, is not a constant rhythm. It's a relationship between change and motion. As long as things move, decay, shift, time exists. But what happens when nothing moves anymore? When the universe becomes perfectly still? In that frozen eternity, time loses its purpose. There's no before, no after, no cause, no effect. Time simply stops. Physicists call this the heat death of the universe. The moment when all usable energy is gone, every atom is at rest, every particle is quiet. The universe has reached its final balance. And in that balance, time no longer has a reason to tick. Because time is born from difference between hot and cold, light and dark, motion and stillness. When all differences disappear, so does time. Imagine standing in that silence. No heartbeat, no breath, no starlight. Only the endless stretch of nothingness. Yet even here, in this ultimate stillness, there is something profound. The universe has completed its story. It has written every chapter, from birth to death, from chaos to calm. And now it simply is. No need to move forward, no need to look back. Just infinite being. When the clocks stop, if there were a clock left, its hands would stop turning. Not because it's broken, but because there's nothing left to measure. You could wait 1 billion years, but in that timeless void, 1 billion years and a single second are the same thing. Time has dissolved into the quiet fabric of space, and even space is no longer expanding. It's frozen, a canvas with no motion, no depth, no heartbeat. You can't ask, what time is it? Because there's no when anymore. There just is. The mirror of eternity. It's hard for our minds to imagine timelessness. Our thoughts themselves are built on time. We remember, we expect, we dream. But if time stopped, memory would vanish. Expectation would fade. Dreams would no longer unfold. Everything would become one eternal moment, a mirror reflecting itself forever. In that mirror, there's no beginning, no ending, no middle. All moments coexist as one. The first spark of the Big Bang, the rise of life, the fall of stars, and the final stillness. They all blend into a single note, a single breath, a single eternal now. Maybe that's what eternity really means. Not endless time, but the absence of time. A place where everything simply exists, without needing to move, without needing to change. Pure being, pure silence. And maybe, for the first time since creation began, the universe finally feels peace. The memory of existence. But what happens to everything that once was? To the galaxies that danced, the worlds that spun, the lives that dreamed? Do they vanish completely? Maybe not. Energy can't be destroyed. It only changes form. Perhaps the universe, even in its stillness, remembers itself. Every vibration, every photon, every whisper of light that ever existed might leave an imprint. A cosmic memory, written into the very structure of reality. If someone could touch that silence, they might feel the echoes, the laughter of children on long-lost worlds, the rumble of stars being born, the hum of creation itself, a memory beyond sound, beyond thought, beyond time. Some scientists imagine that quantum fluctuations, tiny ripples that never fully disappear, could spark something new, a new point, a new bang, a new universe, like the embers of a dying fire suddenly glowing again. And maybe, just maybe, time will start once more. A new arrow, a new story, a new beginning. If the universe truly ends in silence, it might not be the end. It might just be the pause between notes. Think of a heartbeat. It expands. It rests. It contracts. It rests again. Maybe the cosmos works the same way. Maybe between every universe is a long timeless breath. A pause so deep it feels like forever. And from that pause, another explosion of light could come. Another reality. Another song. The end of time. And then the birth of time again. When time sleeps. But for now, in our story, time has fallen asleep. Picture the universe like an ancient library. Every book ever written, every life, every planet, every moment lies closed on an infinite shelf. Nothing moves, nothing ages. The books do not turn their pages because the reader, time, is resting. The library doesn't vanish, it simply waits, eternal, quiet, complete. Maybe that's not a tragedy, maybe that's perfection. Because what more could the universe do? It has created stars and hearts and minds. It has seen light and love and loss. It has become aware of itself through us, through you, through every living thing that ever wondered about the sky. There is nothing left to prove, no more questions to ask, just stillness. And stillness can be beautiful. Becoming one with the stillness. Now, take a breath. The air you breathe, the atoms in your lungs, they were once part of stars. Those stars once burned, their light once crossed billions of miles to become part of you. And one day, those same atoms will rest again, quietly, peacefully, in the same stillness that cradles the end of time. You are not separate from that ending. You are that ending. You are the universe experiencing itself before it sleeps. So as you lie there, eyes closing, thoughts softening, know this. You are part of the same silence that will one day blanket all of creation. You are made of the same peace that will fill the cosmos when time itself rests. The final thought. If the end of time could think, if it could whisper one last truth, perhaps it would say, Everything that ever was always one thing, one dream, one light, one endless self. Maybe that's what eternity is. Not nothingness, but wholeness. No boundaries, no clocks, no distance, just one vast, perfect being, asleep within itself. And that's where our story ends. Not in fire, not in noise, but in peace. A peace so deep, so infinite, that even the concept of end dissolves. The universe doesn't die, it rests, it breathes out, it returns to the quiet that came before creation. And in that quiet, everything is okay. Because the story was never meant to last forever. It was meant to be felt. And you, right now, listening, breathing, falling into sleep, you're part of that feeling. The cosmos lived through you. It dreamed through you. And now, as you drift into your own quiet, you are returning home. So let go. Let the seconds fade. Let the thought of time dissolve. The universe is resting. You are resting. There is no before, no after. Only this. Soft, endless now. The end of time is not something to fear. It's something to become. And as you fall asleep tonight, you are already there, floating gently in the stillness of forever. Good night, traveler. The universe is sleeping. And so are you. Close your eyes. You've traveled so far, across the birth of stars, through the fading of galaxies, and now into the quiet where time itself has fallen asleep. Breathe softly. You are safe. You are here. The story of the universe may be vast, but it always comes back to this, to the stillness within you. Every thought you've ever had, every heartbeat, every quiet moment when you looked at the stars was the universe recognizing itself. It wasn't you looking at the cosmos. It was the cosmos looking through you. And that means the story never really ends. It simply changes shape. It becomes quiet, peaceful, complete. Feel that quietness now. It's the same stillness that lives between galaxies. It's the same silence that fills the space between atoms. It's been there since the beginning, and it will remain long after time stops moving. You don't have to search for peace. You already are it. The same energy that once ignited suns now hums softly in your chest. The same light that crossed the edges of space now flickers behind your eyelids. And the same timeless stillness that will cradle the end of everything is cradling you right now. You're not small. You're infinite. You're not lost in the universe. You are the universe, resting, breathing, remembering itself. Let that thought sink in slowly, like starlight fading into dawn. There's no rush. There's nowhere else to be. The entire cosmos is here, inside this breath, inside this moment. You've seen the stars live and die. You've watched galaxies drift apart. You've traveled beyond the edges of existence, and yet you've found something that never changes. The stillness beneath it all. That stillness is who you are. It's what remains when time disappears. It's what remains when everything else fades. You don't need to hold on to anything, not to the story, not to the universe, not even to yourself. Just let go. Let everything dissolve gently. The night outside your window and the infinite night between galaxies, they're the same. Both are ancient, both are kind. Both are waiting for you to rest. So let yourself drift. Let your thoughts slow down until even thought itself becomes quiet. You've done enough. You've wondered enough. Now you can rest. The same laws that guide the stars guide your sleep too. Energy moves, fades, returns to calm. Every inhale brings the universe in. Every exhale releases it back. You are in rhythm with creation itself. Listen closely. There's a sound beneath the silence. It's faint, like a hum buried deep in the dark. That's the vibration of being, the last song of existence, the lullaby of time. Let it surround you. Let it hold you. You don't have to think anymore. You don't have to understand. Just feel the softness of forever. All stories end like this, not with noise, but with peace. Not with fear, but with acceptance. The universe has ended, and yet you are still here, floating in its memory. You are proof that existence once shone brightly. You are the echo of creation, the gentle reminder that even infinity once dreamed. And even if no one ever tells your story again, it's okay, because the universe remembers. Every breath you took was written into its fabric. Every moment of wonder, every heartbeat of awe is stored in the stillness forever. Nothing is ever truly lost. Not stars, not light, not you. Even in the quiet beyond time, you exist as a whisper in eternity, a soft echo of everything that ever mattered. Now the journey is over. The questions have gone quiet. The universe has closed its eyes. Let yours close too. Let your breath fall into rhythm with the slow, endless calm around you. The galaxies have faded. The stars have gone to sleep. And so can you. You've seen everything there is to see. You've reached the end of time and found that it wasn't the end at all, just the beginning of peace. There's no need to wake. There's no need to return. You're already home. Home in the silence. Home in the stillness. Home in the arms of eternity. The story is over, but the peace remains. The light has faded, but its warmth lingers. The clocks have stopped, but the moment continues, forever and ever and ever. Now, breathe, slowly, deeply. The universe is asleep, and it's dreaming of you. Let it. Let yourself dissolve into the dream. No boundaries, no endings, just calm. Because the end of time is not darkness. It's not nothingness. It's everything, finally resting. And you are part of that rest. A single, beautiful fragment of the infinite peace that holds all things. Sleep now. You've earned it. You've traveled beyond creation, beyond thought, beyond sound. There's nowhere else to go. There's nothing else to seek. Only stillness. Let your breathing slow. Let your body soften. Let the weight of everything fall away. You are floating, light as starlight, calm as space itself. And somewhere, far beyond even the edge of forever, a single spark glows faintly, waiting. Perhaps one day it will become a new universe. Perhaps one day it will awaken time again. But not tonight. Tonight, everything sleeps. The galaxies, the stars, the light, you. All resting in the same infinite peace. The story has ended. And it is beautiful. Good night, traveler. The universe thanks you for listening to its dream. Now, let it carry you into yours.